Hello and welcome to the Stacking Dingers Show. I'm your host, Matthew, aka Sheep, aka Dark Sheep, and I am joined this fine Friday evening by a fine fellow, Ben from Detroit. You know him, CLTGOBLUE. What's up, Ben?
That's it. Yeah, big unveil. Just Ben from Detroit. That's all I can really claim as an interesting factoid in my life. But I'm so happy to be with you, Mr. Dark Sheep.
I mean, you are always a welcome guest here at the show. Billy's out there.
Yes.
Yeah, we're here to draft a dinger tonight. So let's just
I think so. Keep it simple, right?
Yeah, nothing fancy tonight. We're gonna draft a dinger here. See if you can get in here with me. Oh, it filled. Snap filled as I joined.
I'm in.
You're in?
I think I'm in. Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that.
How about that?
Look at that coordination. Unfortunately, or fortunately,
Pretty sure that's like the first time I've ever done that successfully on one of your streams, actually. Oh, see, and I even have the other channel going over here. That's the kind of outfit I'm running.
So apologies to those of you out there who wanted to join us, but you're going to have to just listen to us talk.
It could always be number two. Sometimes we go a little bit late when you allow me on the channel.
Yeah, and there's no strip nest for people to be hopping off of to go watch. So
I guess we won't have too many friends in this one here. Yeah, I don't see.
Yeah, I don't. TK11, but other than that, not a lot of names here that I've seen a lot in the baseball streets.
I've been Mr.
What's up, John?
Swoleberger. I've seen him. No badge yet, but he's definitely been working.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Jim and John out there? You know, knowing Ben and I will probably hit up a second draft here tonight. So if you want to hang around or pop back in later, he usually convinces me. So I'm just giving into it right away now. So
I have my bar station like set up right next to me this time. So I really do not have to get out of the chair as long as my bladder can hold it, you know.
Yeah, this it'll be maybe pitcher won't last forever like it does in a usual sheep seat room. I have a Blackbird Black IPA by Lakefront Brewery tonight.
Is that local Wisconsin?
That is a Milwaukee one, yeah. And I got it in the Harley glass, so we're just all Milwaukee tonight.
That's great. Hope you're surviving winter. As we were talking a little bit, it's actually been pretty frigid here in Michigan, and been a tough one.
All right. Should we have a little fun? Should I build an Ellie team?
I want you to pick Ellie right now, man.
Should we do it?
This is as good as it gets right here.
We'll do it.
I've been doing it. I'm finding my way to the 1.678 Ellie a little bit here.
Let's put ourselves behind it outfield first. And I mean, if I'm being honest, I like Gunner, as a potential smash spot more than Ellie, but we got to do it because, everybody's so used to my brand being anti-Ellie. So let's do it. Let's build an Ellie team. Yeah, I'm not totally out this year.
No, and I find myself feeling pretty comfortable with Gunner as well, especially the stacking potential for Orioles so far. But I'm going to stick to the ADP here. I haven't gotten – this might be my first Tatis dinger.
All right.
You're about 17, 18 so far.
Yeah, he seems to be on a fall.
Just something not quite lining up, Yeah.
I just ruined the algorithm. Everybody is going to get this tossed. Have you had any drafts? I had one dinger draft tossed already. I didn't notice anything as I was drafting it, but
no, I don't think I've seen anything quite as outlandish as what people find and post in the Badge Bros chat. So, but I really don't even look around and see if anything like that's going on myself. So
you're on the clock, sir.
I'm on the clock, and this is just going to be a 2024 draft. I think another guy that I'm just not getting to, but I still love Schwarber.
Anytime I can get Ellie, I take that. Ellie team is money down the drain.
Oof.
Billy says, what about Tatis, Merrill, Machado? I would say that
So bullpen, was Merrill a little pricier in the bullpen? Because I thought that was pretty hard to get, but I feel like he's a little bit more of a.
I mean, you basically have to go Tatis, Merrill with your first 2 picks.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh well, no, obviously, yeah, he's already gone. So
yeah,
all right, I missed it. I missed it for Schwarber.
All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna build it through a Brent Rooker outfielder's pick here. We're saying that Ellie is a smash, and Oakland. Well, not Oakland, but Sacramento, the Athletics. What we saw from Rooker is the real deal, which I think it is. I mean, I don't have any reason to think it's not. He had a pretty high BABIP, but I mean,
the
home runs.
Too, yeah, it's pretty consistent. It's kind of time to buy in. I like that. I feel like you can still kind of see him falling from time to time too. So
yeah,
I'm looking for those spots especially to grab him for outfield too.
Yeah, the other guy I was thinking about there was Ozuna.
Sure.
Just because putting a couple of these Atlanta guys together early feels pretty good. I think you've been posting some 4-man early Atlanta stacks.
If I can get to it, it does start with Ronnie for me every time, and I am building up a pretty hefty share of Ronnie so far. So
okay,
I don't know what that update really means for me that we got today.
Oh yeah, what did we get one? I saw the Strider one yesterday.
Yeah. Well, ready for spring training, but not opening day, right? That
was the Strider, yeah.
That was a Strider. Today was Acuna, ready in a month or so, per someone at the Athletic. I don't know what direction the or so goes. It could maybe beat a month.
Yeah, I mean, I think a month is pretty good.
Pretty good.
End up with a month.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking longer. I was thinking like June.
I don't know. I don't know if I've got a number in mind. Even I just think it's kind of he goes in a place where I'm content to see what happens. And if you miss out on early James Wood or again like even Merrill and Churio to an extent, like I don't hate that I'm planting my flag on Acuna more so than some of those other guys in the second.
Yeah. Jobber Jim out here calling for a double Jackson sophomore slump. Certainly in the range of outcomes.
Yeah.
John Carlson, are you buying Alonso to Blue Jay News? I've been pretty well. That's funny. I was talking about getting Ozuna here, or on the last pick. So I think I'm just gonna. Take him here.
Yeah.
Like this Harper Devers tier at infield, I still feel like is going down. So
it's
I
nice.
think it's kind of a fall off there. Expert is buying Alonso no matter what. I don't know. What do you think about Pete Alonso this year?
I truly might have 0 shares at this point. I don't think it's a strong position or anything like that. Maybe just for me, not knowing where he is, not knowing who to stack him with, I'm just a little bit thrown off right now. It should be fine, right? Like I can't make an argument against him. Just doesn't seem to be in my plan for the moment.
Yeah, he has not been in my plans. 40 bombs potentially in the 4th round. Sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to believe about him. By all means, he had one of his best offenses around him last year, and he didn't really live up to it. Maybe someone I need to do a deeper dive. I haven't really looked at any. I've just only really looked at his counting statistics last year. I haven't really looked too deep in on the underlying stuff. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, just again, hearing it in the overall pod chatter, right? Like I think it's he's at an age. The K percentage, I believe, was up pretty significantly. So there's some warts in the game overall too, but I think it's more just unsure about where he lands and what park he's going to play in. I mean, well, I guess park shouldn't matter for him, right? He can hit it out anyway.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, because I already ruined my chance to do that fun stack for the Padres. Why not? Let's go ahead and get our first share here. It's right about where he should be going. Got my 2 outfielders to start. So
yeah, and Devers Alonso seems to that seems just like a super solid.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna swamp your lineup there.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm pretty aggressive on Corey Seager, so that's kind of who I'm taking over Alonso pretty consistently. Yeah, that would be where I'm diverging from him, I think.
Let's see here. I think we're gonna take Riley Green here.
Riley Green, okay. So no Spencer Steer, no.
Yeah, I'm just not loving Spencer Steer.
He's like stack only, right? Like we're only even thinking about it because you have Ellie.
Right.
I don't think I would click him as a one-off very often. Yeah, in terms of the names he's around. I mean, Mike Trout is still there. I've been grabbing Mike Trout too. That's been something I've changed up a little bit, and I've started a lot of 4th or 5th rounds, getting Mike Trout, bumping him up, putting him in the mix, and then kind of seeing what else happens after.
Okay. Yeah, I have not been getting to Trout. Maybe a couple of Acuna shares, but not much Trout. Jumping back to Acuna, Billy says a lot of commentary on when he will come back, but less about how much less he might run coming off another knee or ACL, and might not be the same guy when he returns. The hope is that he's ramps up at some point, though, right? I think.
I'm not viewing it of too much of what he's going to do when he's back. I'm just, when does he get back? If he's back, I'm happy to have him. We'll know at the end of the year, but who he is and what he is as a player, I don't know that I'm adjusting too much for that expectation.
Yeah, and it's not like he's going to lose the leadoff spot because he starts off a little cold.
And it's like you said too. Like I'm making my way into a bunch of 3-man and 4-man stacks for the Braves, and now you can put Profar into the mix too. So they're kind of like, I think, one of the, at least for a 3-man, one of the more stackable teams. And I think it kind of starts with, you got to be comfortable maybe taking Acuna a little bit there to get it started.
Yeah, so I definitely think Profar, the question here from FA Coolers, I think Braves are an awesome landing spot for him. Yeah. Should have everyday playing time even when Acuna gets back. No, I don't think there's any platoon worry there. And I think his ADP is just going to rise, especially anchored to so many of those Atlanta guys. People are just going to naturally stack them and pull them up. I don't know. So if you had to, take you can't take the in between. If you had to take 2024 or 2022 Jerks and Profar, which one do you think he's going to be this year?
Yeah, I mean, who I don't know, but there's, I give I put confidence in kind of what I've seen most recently. So if he's found something new, I'm more apt to say that's closer to what he is than, I mean, he's been a prospect for like a decade now, practically. Former number 1 overall prospect, if I recall.
I don't think he really counts as a prospect, but
no. But I mean, look. situation. He's in the outfield, so that helps from a positional standpoint. He's had a good year last year. Why is he going to get substantially worse now on the Braves team? So I'd say it's a good buy. And man, if you were aggressive in doing that as a free agent, I think you're feeling pretty good about picking him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Jobber Jim is he is not for the stacking. He mentioned a few times here.
No.
Stacking is not a real strategy. Best player available always.
All right. Yes.
Well, stay tuned for this week's episode of the Stacking Dinger Show, because we are going to be looking at 2024 stacking data and see just how effective it was. So shout out to my other show, plug my other show, but Chris should be, scouring through that data from last year to pull out some of the stacking information. So
motion for a name change to Dingers Available.
Best dinger available.
Best dingers available. Yeah,
that could get a little dirty.
Hey, that's a philosophy I can get behind, right? Like, take the dingers. If you see dingers available, grab them.
Speaking of dingers, how many dingers does Luis Robert get to this year?
Good amount, maybe.
Good amount, hopefully.
I jumped up Castellanos there. I mean, I don't love the pick really, but I'd like to have some stacking options. We'll see if the Phillies provide them a little bit later. The Phillies though, going from like my favorite team to stack to kind of a challenge in this year of the dinger. So
yeah, I was, I'm taking O'Neill Cruz. I took Ozzie Albies before, so now I'm 3-3. I'll take a fall on O'Neill Cruz and take the Cruz brothers.
I think you kind of got me on Cruz a little bit early. I don't feel like I've gotten to it in the dinger quite yet, but definitely in the bullpen, and very, very sneaky 2020 season. Just that doesn't seem easy to find just anywhere. So
yeah, we're at this price. We're hoping for a 30-30 season though.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We're buying still some increase. I started going through the backlog of rates and barrels position preview. I started listening through that on shortstop, and also had to be convinced on O'Neill Cruz. He was starting to talk about platoon splits and getting platooned, and now he's playing the outfield, and that kind of worry. But I'm still hoping for that super breakout season, because he missed the whole season with injury, like
significant injury that he could have been recovering from all last year, right? So
yeah, I mean, I think if he puts up another 2020 season, we got to start saying next year that's who he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and what I think, if I'm remembering what they did last year, is it wasn't that he lost playing time; he just lost lineup position against lefties.
Yeah, I feel like he got platooned a little bit towards the end of the year.
Could be.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what are the Pirates going to do though? Really, like he could have been, again. He's recovering his first year back from an injury. They're kind of out of it. Like, you get off to a hot start this year. How are they not going to play him?
Yeah, Profar goes here at 77. So yeah,
it's getting up there. I've gotten sniped on trying to put together some Brave stuff, by a full round and a half, probably on him recently.
Yeah, we're looking at some infielder fall here. Pitchers are kind of getting snapped up. I'm going to grab this Willie Adames fall.
Okay.
66 to 80. Yeah, I have no problem with that, because if you've watched other stuff on this show, even though it's not a real strategy, I do like stacking San Francisco. They're kind of my safety valve for outfielders in Ramos and Lee at 116 and 133.
What do you so I am not in on that just range of outfield. I feel like I snap Tyler O'Neill up every time, and then I
Sure.
give it a little bit of a rest. Lee and Ramos, have you done a deep dive on them, or just it kind of feels good with a little bit of a stack you can put? You can do Chapman, you can do Adames. Yeah, they got like some nice stacking names.
Yeah, I think the Chapman price is just right. If he's going to steal bases again this year, that still remains to be seen. But no, I think Ramos is capable of hitting as he did last year, and everything I've read and the analysts I've looked at didn't seem to make it seem like anything he did was fluky. And then I just think Jung-Hoo Lee at 133 is got a couple rounds of value just in boringness.
Yeah, I don't. They like regular PT too, right? Like they're going to be in there. Yeah. They're going to be that high. It's a pretty good. It's an underrated range, I think. I kind of like Springer a little bit to bounce back this year. I've got my pick here. I'm just going to let it run out. But
okay.
And Tyler O'Neill, I have a lot of Tyler O'Neill. He's usually what I'm going for right about this round here.
Yeah, absolutely. He gets that benefit of them bringing the wall back in a little bit.
Yep.
And this is getting interesting. Another 10-round fall on an infielder, CJ Abrams, who I've had my questions about.
Yeah, you're kind of a fade, right?
Kind of a fade, yeah. But if I didn't have 4 already, this would be the time I'd want to take him. All right, I'm going to take Framber here.
We love that, man. We love SP1. Starting our SP with Framber, man. Oh gosh,
absolutely. All right, let's check out. Aaron L has a question here. This will be a better question for the stacking data show, but I'm wondering if stacking shows up better in the data simply because it's the sharper players that do it, so it makes it look better. This is entirely possible. Similar to knowing that week 17 matters helped even before week 17 because it was the sharper players. That is definitely possible. We have no way to filter out who's drafting who and what style.
Yeah.
We can look at how much teams are stacked and whether that has an influence on the success. Like the year that we had the Atlanta just have
years ago, right? The Braves
2 years ago. Yeah. Braves had this totally outlier season. And so Atlanta stacks just boosted stack scoring overall. Jason's out here. What's up, Jason?
Yes. Woo-woo.
And then some more discussion in the chat there about stacking.
Quite the party in chat tonight, it looks like.
Absolutely. It's always a party here on Friday nights.
Man,
yes, we do know who won the Dinger last year. It was the undefeatable Sam Olson.
You've met him. You've met him in person.
Yes, I did have the pleasure of meeting him at the Dog Bowl. He's, of course, qualified for the NBA Dog Bowl also, which I will not be qualified for.
Are you not chasing it?
No. I know better. I know better than to lose money on football.
You could give Dark Sheep a Millie Maker win. He's not going to go out there chasing returns, right? He's going to stick to the plan. He's going to come with a balanced, nuanced approach. So
exactly, you got it.
I would be chasing if I happen to find myself in such a situation, but
all right,
so it's okay.
I'm feeling tight on outfielder here, though. With 3 of them only. But I also kind of want to grab a pitcher. We're going to take Springer.
Okay, yeah. That seems okay to me. Again, not having I don't think I haven't really done my player dive yet. I feel like I'm kind of just for these first parts. I'm going off my intuition a little bit, or what I know about these guys, what they did last year, which doesn't bode well for Springer. But what else are they going to do? Like, he's going to play a lot. He just needs to, show that he's not completely washed, I guess, at pick 100.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, it looks like a natural decline.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Kind of a baseline and then a drop off. But for 2 years, I don't know. We can hope. Yeah, nobody's coming for his playing time, though.
Right. And at this point of the season, too, I put a little bit of value in just like the roster and kind of what I can project and kind of where things are situated. I guess we could get info further into spring training that, like, man, this guy is just looking super dusty and the team is worried. Then we'll kind of figure that out when we can.
Saints, you missed the draft, but we will be doing another one after this one. So
awesome.
We'll be doing 2.
So stacking is proven to be false, right? That's what our friend in the chat said.
Absolutely. So your Taylor Ward or Haselair combo.
How about this?
Ooh, I mean that's kind of dead for other reasons.
That's for the bit there. No, I mean it is a 3-man stack. We know we got a couple of the Boston names to chase a little bit later. That is my very first Rafael share. I do not endorse picking him whatsoever.
I'm going to edit that so it says I do endorse.
That will make the rounds if you were to do so.
Oh man. Hopefully everything's all right, Dan. Another guy I got to meet at the dog well in the hospital, LOL. So I'm guessing the LOL means it's not too bad. But hopefully everything's all right there, dude.
Is that not the same guy that's been in the Badge Bros channel?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Awesome. Welcome. Oh, well, hope all is well. I'm glad you're still posting from the hospital mostly. So
all right, let's get a I have not, since starting the Dinger, I have not increased my Spencer Schwellenbach exposure, but let's do it here. Let's get him as our SP2.
Why not? Yeah, it's an outfield glut. I think pitchers, like you said, they're kind of moving in this room a little bit. So we're not. Oh, here's a name actually that I see in just general. If you notice anything, definitely right next to you.
Yeah, what about him?
For a drafter, definitely right next to you.
Oh, I have not noticed them. No,
really? Okay, I've seen him in every draft I've done. Like every draft I've done. Yes, for sure.
Okay. They did end up with the CJ Abrams fall there.
Okay, they've got a balanced team waiting on SP.
Yep.
Mark Vientos, Corey. I mean that's the kind of team I try to put, and they got a little Blue Jay stack to go with it. Vlad and Santander. That's a nice looking team right now.
Castillo and Ober. Perfectly fine. I still have a ton of concern about Luis Castillo this year. I just do not like how inefficient he was last year. I don't know. I'm kind of scared there.
Hasn't been a name I've gotten to. I don't know that I'm scared. Just hasn't quite made it to me. There are a couple names. You know what? But even that little bit of a range right there, it's like I'm waiting more, and I'm clicking Bailey Ober to kind of maybe like do an SP1 sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm grabbing a lot in here.
Ober, Grayson, and Gosman going like after Castillo. I'd rather maybe just wait one more round and go with one of those 3.
Yeah, makes sense. Even Sonny Gray, I think.
We've been talking about it, right? We got the guy kind of racks up Ks, under the radar, but it's been pretty infallible the last, decade.
Well, I mean, when he's in.
The
fallibility is when he's in. All right. We get a Bryce Miller pick here, which I'm ecstatic about.
For sure. Bryce feels very, very confident. I mean, this is the range, right? Like if you are waiting on SPs, it is to grab multiple names in these last couple rounds here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're talking about Devonta Lee takes Joe Ryan as his third.
Like
Swolberger over here goes Hunter Green, Seth Lugo, Sonny Gray. Yeah. You can't hate these taking 3 pitchers at these picks, because these were the guys we were taking multiple rounds before.
Yeah.
So
I guess, yeah, that I think if there's any new meta, it's like the weight on SP got even better this year in a way. I don't know if that means that you lean into it like even more heavily than what we did last year. It is what I'm doing currently. I've been trying to like see if I can pick off one faller in the top 100 though recently, and then like get to work on that range.
Okay, so by being more aggressive, you mean just waiting even longer?
Waiting even longer. Waiting like 120 first SP kind of,
Or if there's a nice faller. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
But I think I did that like all of the bullpen. Like I'm gonna have like single like less than 5% ownership on like every top 100 pitcher in the bullpen. I think in this one I have been doing a little bit more, and I'm just gonna. Oh my gosh. No, we'll take Isaac here.
Okay.
Yep. No, I can still shore up. Yeah, I mean, I have one pitcher right now. We're up to pick 140, so I'm still following through with it. But like Gilbert was a little bit of a faller here. If Framber can be fall a couple. Corbin Burns seems to fall just a little bit from 50 to 65. I've been trying to get like one of those guys in dingers, and then still pretty much follow through my plan of basically not picking a pitcher until 120 plus.
Oh, I get Jung-Hoo Lee taken from me. Outfield is rough. All right. We are going to use the non-strategy of building some Parker Meadows in with our Riley Green here.
Now, do you see Jobber Jim and pro stacking Dodgers pitchers? Do you see that comment?
Stacking pitchers this year. I want the full Dodgers rotation, elite strat. Sure. I've.
How full can you get? I guess. What do you have to commit to?
Let's take a look here. So, if you want to take a Dodgers stack of pitchers, you got
Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi's at 82 here in this draft. Roki's going before Yamamoto.
He's going. That's kind of.
Is that where ADP is at? That can't be it.
I think it is. I think Roki's like in the 70s now.
Man, pretty similar ADPs right now.
Okay.
And then Glass now. I'll admit I'm getting to a lot of Glass now this year.
He would be another guy too, where maybe stretch out. What is it? Well, he's only pick 100, man. That's right.
Yeah, I'll take 130 innings of Tyler Glass now and pick 100.
No, that's a very decent price. That's again an example of where the crop we're picking from. If we're doing the Chip Skylark, wait till pick 100. It's just a better crop this year.
Yeah, so experts saying though, Roki looks like he's better than Yoshi, who's going in the 5th last year, and I had none of Yoshi in the 5th. So
yeah,
I guess I still have major questions of the transition for Sasaki, being a less established guy even in Japan and coming to the US.
Right. He's a pure prospect in a lot of senses,
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of professional exposure, right? Steele goes right before me again.
We might call it like double and triple A exposure to this point. Like, I would not put any more faith into him versus Yoshi. Yoshi, other than an injury, passed the test to me completely last year.
Yeah, and just generally transitioning at a younger age, I have concerns.
Yeah.
Just
But I mean, he's ranked like dynasty heads talk about him as the number one overall prospect. Like that's kind of what you're getting here. I don't know, like, does he have to pitch all year in the majors? Like he'll have minor league options, won't he? Like with the way how
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
You're up though.
Don't love any of the pitching names. I want to make one before I do something else. Why don't we just go all the way down?
Ooh, okay.
And draft Taj Bradley. What could go wrong in a park downgrade than drafting a Tampa Bay Ray pitcher? You know?
Okay, so Dan, all good. Then a weird thing. Sounds crazy, but got stabbed.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that goes beyond sounding crazy, and that is crazy.
Was that earlier, like later this afternoon? Because we were conversing all morning. I feel like in the Badge Bros channel.
You don't have to share the story, but I kind of want to know what's up with that. But yeah, you're welcome to keep it to yourself or share it on your own time. But what's up, Andrew? GPNGC, see him all over the streets everywhere. TK's in the chat. I feel like I grab Sandy in every draft.
I think that there's a sharp angle to Sandy. I kind of ignored it all of bullpen. Yeah. Wait, what? Draft fan? Why?
Because he got stabbed.
Oh. Look, Dan P is going to come back stronger and better, and so did Fam that one instance.
Yeah, he was outside the strip club when he got stabbed. I think he was getting mugged and he refused to put up with it. Tommy Fam. All right. I get Robbie Ray and Jack Flaherty. Two guys I'm smashing at this spot.
You get them a lot. Yep.
I've saw young quality innings from Robbie Ray potentially this year.
Right. Nope. I think he's a good example of just, we're at pick, 170 almost. And I feel like we're not speculating on pitcher. We're grabbing players with a pretty good track record. Maybe they're coming off an injury or a bad season, but these are not, like Ryan Pepio last year, only knowing that the Rays acquired him, and that's probably a good thing.
Right. I mean, you can still take shots at him in the 20th.
Pepio's even, I think he feels cheaper than where he was last year.
Oh, well.
After the run-up, maybe? Or
this story is a lot less crazy.
What the hell?
Come on.
This guy's awesome. You met him in person?
I did. I didn't. And unfortunately, I've talked to Dan more after the fact than I did at the spot. He was not someone I conversed with a lot, but
was he was
sidewalk cutting onions? What's that? Yes, he was a qualifier.
Awesome. It was so. I mean, for me on the outside, kind of jealous of where you were in general in life, but no, it was so cool to see like you and Viper and like people I converse with for that weekend there. It was a lot of fun to work alongside of you.
That stupid shout out to stupid Viper. He tries for the NBA one for one day. And he gets in. He qualified yesterday.
I thought I saw him mention that. Did he really? Did he qualify for an NBA dog bowl?
He did.
Man, look, he's the truth, man. Like some guys have it, and some guys don't. Viper has it, man.
What are you thinking about Spencer Arrighetti this season?
I like it. I mean, the thing about this range of pitching is like there are more names that I like than I don't like almost, right? Arrighetti is one guy I do tend to click on and prioritize a little bit. I don't have a lot of woo. I haven't gotten back into Fat, but I've always been into them. So it's really not like I can't point to a reason. Not so much on Eflin, not so much on Bueller. Sanchez might be a guy that I kind of maybe elevate a little bit to take in this range. Yeah.
So, I've been doing it also. Do you have any concerns with just the lack of strikeouts in this format for Sanchez?
So that even gets into a bigger question. I wonder if we could talk about it even more, like even off the draft in between a little bit or something. But it's like I don't have concerns about his case individually, like that Bloom board that we were just talking about. Amongst the chatters and badge bros, he's obviously has some good stuff. He's generating whiffs on 2 pitches at a high rate that would seem to portend to correcting that. But I almost just like the fact that he's a young guy and he's already put up 180 innings on like a good team,
Yeah.
Kind of like take the projectable innings and hope the Ks work out is sort of a philosophy that I'm kind of buying into this year.
Oh, sorry, you missed your pick, or did you?
No, I got it.
You got a break. Sorry,
we're 7th outfielder. Terrible, but we're committed to the Boston stack. So
okay. Sorry, I didn't know if you had that queued up.
You got it.
But you are up again. You're at 2 pitchers, so I'm guessing your own pitcher here.
We're pitcher the rest of the way for the most part. It'd be very, I've done a couple 6-pitcher builds, but which is kind of the thing that this is the reason why I'm trying to take pitchers a little bit earlier sometimes, is because I've gotten to this position where I have my entire hitter staff filled out by, pre-pick 200, and I know I'm just going to pick pitchers the rest of the way.
Evaldi, excellent choice.
But these are 3 guys that I believe have, to me, again, what's important, like good innings potential and some semblance of K upside. So Sanchez, good innings potential. I believe there is a semblance of K upside to him.
All right. Should we shoot for some Toglia home runs?
I've been liking Toglia a little bit.
Should we go with Nathaniel Lau?
Lau, I think, is solid.
Yeah. I keep going back and forth of them bringing Josh Bell in too. Like Josh Bell, I wanted to think he was dust. Then I looked at last year and he wasn't. No. It wasn't. I thought he just had like a nice hot streak when he went to Arizona and kind of boosted them, and while Christian Walker was out. But if you look at the season-long stuff, he hasn't really lost too much.
Yeah.
So
I don't worry too much about, like, I think they have DH first base pretty wide open right now, and those guys are going to find their way in there. Yeah. So, but what Bell's ADP is way down there, right? Like he's really not even
right. I'm just mostly bringing it up to talk about, I was all in on Lau when, he was, alone in that DH first base role.
Yeah.
I really felt comfortable with his playing time. But I guess with Josh Bell just taking the DH side, it's not too much to worry about. But 2 similar guys that, I don't know how they fit in exactly. That might be something to look at in spring training, how they're being used too.
How they're being used. It's almost that, like, I wish Bell justified a little bit of a higher ADP even, so I could feel like I'm not completely reaching to make that national stack, which is, that's one thing I've noticed so far. I don't know where the differences are in the Dinger ADP, but I definitely have multiple national stack for bullpen. I haven't really been stacking nationals again now that we moved into Dinger.
Yeah. Give me Nolan Gorman for the expert.
Gosh,
what's up, Tyler? Yeah, where are you on?
I need me to create his ADP. If somebody else would like to take it on so I can feel justified as my 7th infielder, I'm ready to do it. I fall for the Nolan Gorman trap. continually, both like full season and then at the All-Star break for for the revival tournament, even more. Like click him even more aggressively because he hit 2 home runs the week before.
Yeah, speaking of St. Louis, and I need an infielder here, so I'm going to grab Wilson Contreras.
Yeah.
And then who do we have left? We have Jordan Walker and Lars Nootbaar left.
I like him. I'm kind of just done with my again, I'm in this position where I'm completely done with my position players, so I'm not getting a lot of Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the Cardinals as they fit for a draft like this, or do you kind of like a bounce back maybe too? Do you like some of those players more, individually?
I think Wilson Contreras is a smash.
Okay.
Full-time first baseman at this price, pending him staying healthy. He's had troubles with that. How much that was catching related, I don't know. Hard to really quantify that, I think. But I'm in on Wilson Contreras, and I'm also in on Lars Nootbaar.
Yeah.
I'll take those guys by themselves. Anyone outside of that, it's to pair with a stack. Everything about Jordan Walker says don't take Jordan Walker. But everything about his age, his original profile, you look back at those minor league seasons and it's like, why not? He's still so young.
He's still so young. Again, what are their options? I feel like he's going to be in there. They have no reason not to. The stacking potential for the Cardinals, I love. I just hate that all the capital is in the last like 5 picks, and my teams have just not been positioned to like really capitalize on that. I feel like. Yeah.
I didn't. I've been looking so far ahead that nobody's taking Nico Horner. Nobody take Nico. I'm not taking Nico Horner.
That's crazy.
I was not taking Nico Horner.
This draft has been fast, man. This draft's moving so fast. Like I'm not even catching up to all these guys that are lingering out there. I mean, I wish I had Tucker on this team. I would certainly get to Nico Horner a little bit more early than 220.
Yeah, I'm mostly not taking him now as the bit, but I don't know, them bringing in John Birdie kind of scared me, how much they actually think Nico Horner is behind
in terms of like injury recovery. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that really maybe I wasn't aware of that. Okay, no, that's a new update. Yeah. Has not resumed throwing. Okay. All right. That's a little I wasn't quite caught up to that little brief there. Interesting.
Matt here says Nico Collins is probably a better dinger pick than Horner.
Go blue. I mean, if I could draft him, let me get after him. As I watch Michigan basketball getting thrashed here on my other screen by Purdue.
How did the college football playoffs sit with you this year? Are you still celebrating from the previous?
Still that's not happy about Ohio State winning anything, let alone the first play CFP 12-team format. So no, that I was rooting for Notre Dame as much as that pains me to say also. But well, you know what? Like, if it was worth it or not, we're going to find out for Michigan football next year because we got that big time recruit who's local to Michigan, Bryce Underwood. But yeah, Ohio State, they met the challenge. They got it done. So they look good doing it. Also, it was a random like miracle that Michigan beat Ohio State this year in a football game. So
everything college football just goes in one ear and out the other. So
one ear out the other, right?
I'm glad for you, or I'm sorry that happened. I mean,
there's a little both this year in college football. I'm glad we won it, and I would say I'm sorry Ohio State won it.
Yeah. Aaron here missed the first draft. Sorry, crazy story. Accidentally stabbed a guy.
Wow.
Which
Not only is the chat well attended, but interactive and paying attention to the dialogue sheet. This is quite a chat you've cultivated here.
we just vibe, man. All right. I want to grab a last picture here. How exciting do we want to go?
I'll say I have Mr. Shane Boz start off on my queue. I'm interested in jumping back in on him.
You know, let's do it. We got Contreras, we got Jordan Walker. Let's get Nolan Gorman.
Okay.
As our 7th infielder.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, normally if I'm thinking, you know, I start Ellie, I'm saying he's a smash, and I don't want to go 7 infielders, but with this group, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put those 3 guys together because the pitcher that I was thinking about is not going to be taken by the time it gets back to me. So,
okay. I've obviously only got pitchers queued up here. I've got her. I mean, I would have taken. I guess I wouldn't have taken Boz only because, and I don't know. There's no basis to this, but like I take Taj. I don't take Boz. I don't take Taj. I grab Boz. Like I don't want more than one Tampa Bay pitcher this year.
Okay, explain that.
Maybe that park is really bad and it just works out poorly for all of them.
Got it. Okay.
But in general, I'm trying to get into like more of a mindset of thinking about like when my tiebreakers arrive for pitchers that I like can I go with, well, this guy isn't in the division of my stack. Should I take him versus the other guy that might, be a better pitcher, but also like in the division of the teams I'm stacking? There's some of that going on for me where I'm thinking about it. I'd love to see some research on it. Don't know if there's anything solid or if you can even like deduce it that far.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how you would really
that. Like Tampa Bay isn't a pitching team that I think I want to grab multiple pitchers of this year, at least.
Okay, so then you did get Nico Horner. Did you mean to do that?
No, wait.
Oh.
No, I have 2 stars in my queue. I have Brady Singer and Frankie Montas both in my queue right now.
Do you have your positions set at 6 for some reason?
I wonder. Interesting. I do actually. I put my autos in at 6, 7, 7s because I thought when I was going to auto the bunt, I would just want to be contrarian the whole way.
Oh man.
But I did not know that if you still have a queue up, but your auto position, like, oh wow. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a lesson learned. 6, 7. I swear, man, I can't get through a clean draft with you. It's not your fault, man. But
well, it's talking while you draft. It's hard.
Move at some point.
So I took the Clay Holmes here.
Okay.
I've been working him in as my 20th round pitcher here and there.
Gosh, I kind of like this team too, actually, even with the silly
position limits, cousin of the star method. Absolutely.
Like,
okay, yeah. So
something, man. It's dirty.
Well, we get this last.
People starred. Doesn't that supersede my cousin?
It does not.
All right. Well, I got to change that right now.
There you go. Let's look for these last rounds. See if we get any outrageous picks. Matt Vierling, Nestor Cortez. I know Jackson Jobe is sitting here at the top of the pitcher ADP. So I'll put it to you. What is your outlook on Jackson Jobe this year?
Not touching it. There's just too many ways where he's not an important piece of the Tigers this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like they'll give him every honest chance to prove himself, but He's got to overcome like some injury history. He's got to overcome his own performance last year. Like he wasn't that dominant in the minors.
Okay.
And then coming up to the majors, really, it's like 3 innings, so who cares? But like, I just think there's too much that can go wrong for him. Where like Bubba Chandler going undrafted in this one, right? I would take a chance on Bubba Chandler to like break camp and be a consistent performer for the Pirates, well ahead of Jackson Jobe.
Yeah, because I just pulled up Jobe's Statcast. So he only did 2 starts at AAA, but they did not go well.
No.
16 starts at AA. He had a 2 ERA with a 3.16 FIP. So it seems like, yeah, the
his
AAA.
Ks were down. His Ks were down and the walks were up, as I recall, compared to what he did in 2023.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So you think there's still more development there?
There's still more development there, and honestly, like they have been so careful with him. This is a guy that was drafted as a high school pitcher over Marcelo Mayer and like some really big names as position fielders, and they've been like deliberate and particular in bringing him along, and they've done a good job. Like he's gotten to the point where he's ready to debut. I mean, he's only like 22, right? Like he's ready to debut, but I think there are much more reliable picks to be had, as well as like still presenting some upside too.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's try and get in this next one here.
Okay.
We need 6 people.
Oh, I am sick though. That's crazy, man.
Oh, the Nico. Well, I mean, that's some nice closing line value. All right. We snap filled. I'm going to get a refill to my beverage, and I will be right back.
Okay.
You get pick 2 here.
Did I really? Okay. Aaron Judge, 6-man New York coming up. Once again, I am solo on Sheep Stream. I think this is still live, is it not? Shout me out in the chat if it's still live. I still can't believe the positional limits outweigh my actual queue that I had in the draft. That's crazy. I'm going to talk about it now. No Nico second pick. Bjorn Masterson. Great to see him. Still live. I mean, 6, 7, 7s, they can maybe do it, right? I'll definitely say that I'm coming into this one where I do want a little bit more like structure diversity in what I'm building.
This year,
yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
And I think, again, like we're talking about pitching and the types of pitchers that you get at the numbers. Well, look at this. Look what Billy Jones gave us here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, he's just okay. I did my Judge 101 yesterday. I got one of those in.
In Billy's stacking Dinger's rankings, he has Judge 101, so he's following his own rankings. All right, who else we got in here though? Bjorn's in here. TK's in here again. Dan's in here, joining us from the hospital.
A lot of questions about this Dan fellow.
All right. Here's another Tigers question. What do you think about the late round Tiger stack? Carpenter, Meadow, Torres.
As a stacking concept, I endorse it. I always endorse any stack that you can put together of top 5 sort of guys that are reasonably priced. I've said in our own chats and everything, though, but I'm kind of on a Carpenter fade this year, and I think Meadows is the guy to pick right next to him. I'm definitely worried about Carpenter as a pure platoon, and like to the degree of like maybe not even getting like 500 plate appearance sort of thing, like
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that also, the back related to, or just
some injury risk, right? Like
yeah.
he's a guy that's dealt with it multiple times. I think for as much he played the outfield last year, and I don't think he was even bad at it or anything. I think for as much as they can limit him to DH versus righties only, they're going to kind of try to do that actually.
All right, I'm gonna take Gunner here. We're doing the infield starts today. Yeah, and Gleyber Torres at 170 is a guy I forget about. I just lose him in the infield glut, but I don't want to.
It would almost be like Carpenter would be the least important part of that stack to me, and I'd be okay with Meadows, Gleyber, and like Colt Keith very late.
Okay.
Or if you get Green up top, Green, Meadows, Gleyber, put Carpenter in there if you want to, right? Like I'm not saying that he can't come through, but he's the guy that I'm most worried about in terms of draftable Tigers.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you? All right. We're gonna take Julio here.
Julio, I am not happy to take, but I think I need to commit. I think we need to commit ourselves to taking a first round, first pick, second round Julio. Like that's got to be a good idea, yeah. Can't stack him. Don't like his season last year. A lot of concerns, but it's Julio at 1.12, 2.2.
Yeah. You got to look back a year to feel good about taking Julio still at the turn. So we do have a couple other viewers in here. The neighborhood is in here. Dan is out of the hospital. Hopefully his girlfriend is done cutting vegetables for the evening. And we also got Gary, Colt fan GMF is in the house. Love the best ball content. Looking forward to the year. Yeah. I'm just like, I keep forgetting that we're so early in the season already. I'm so deep in that, like, hopefully I don't get burnt out, but I'm just loving drafting and talking about it.
So I don't think either of us have really like maxed this tournament in previous history, but do you have a number you're going for this year, or do you have something you feel like you're pacing towards?
I want to get 100 in this year.
100.
Yep.
I thought so too.
I'll have 80 bullpens by the time my last couple slows fill.
Yeah.
I want to do 100 in here, and I want to do 10 in that $50 contest.
Okay. So that'll be one thing that I don't know where I'm going to land yet is the ancillary contest. I'm picking Freddie, by the way, like slam dunk. I got to show, hey, Freddie.
Ooh, yeah.
That is all due to Billy Jones and the 1.01 judge. I appreciate you.
How much do you value Teoscar now here coming
Very
back
high.
around? Okay.
Like Billy, you better take him or he's coming to me. 100%.
Yeah, Billy gets Jackson Merrill. Yeah, I'm really surprised. The Jackson family here. I did not anticipate this. These guys are going in opposite directions. Jackson Churio and Jackson Merrill. I feel like Churio is moving up and Jackson Merrill is moving down, even though
a little bit. Merrill had kind of like the better season, right? Or the more sort of solid overall.
Right.
What do you project for this year's season?
What do I don't know.
No. But if you're asking that question, I think
Jackson
Merrill's like peripherals are kind of a little bit more. He's like a pretty freaking good hitter.
Right. And Churio, you're hoping
there's ceiling there.
There's more stolen bases too. You're hoping.
Now, Bjorn got a wonderful number on Mr. Wyatt Langford. I think I heard in your stacking dinner shows, going through some stuff. You're in on Wyatt. Or you feel good about Wyatt?
I do. I just have not got to him.
Yeah.
because in this part of the board, I'm taking a lot of Matt Olson.
Yeah, that's what you said, right? They're those elite infielders in this part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vlad if he falls, Matt Olson, Devers. So that is talking about blind spots. That is one I need to force because I do think that month that we saw of him, it just has such potential.
Mm-hmm.
And him coming from college and being a developed hitter.
Yeah.
And making the adjustments.
Texas is like one of the very best teams to stack to, right? I feel pretty confident in a lot of players, and they're all at different ADPs. You can get them all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a half round fall on Bryce Harper here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're both in the last draft and this one. There's some fallers. There's some trends on early pitchers or a lot of pitching being taken and stuff. I've got my Nico Horner in my 677 80 round discount or 80 big discount. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Skeens falls a little bit. Skubal goes about where he goes.
Yeah.
I did start a draft this afternoon with Skubal fell down. I guess it was about here. I took a Skubal Wheeler start just to try it out. And that was interesting. All right. You know what? Let's do it. Let's take my first Dinger Mike Trout share.
Okay.
I'm eyeballing Michael Harris here.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Ooh. Yeah.
I still think he has ceiling. Man, I don't know.
I like Trout. I think this is where I press the button. If you had that Olsen stack going, ready to kind of work on, that's where I maybe take Harris, even though I think I just like Trout better straight up.
Yeah, I don't know. Michael Harris still has this ground ball, problem that he needs to elevate if he wants to hit a ceiling outcome. Playing time is not, I should say healthy playing time has not been great for Michael Harris either. Like if I'm going to complain about Mike Trout.
That's true, right? There may not be enough kind of injury risk being put on Harris so far for what we know.
Right. So let's just looking. 470 he got to plate appearances last year. 2022, 441. 2023, when every Brave played every game, he got to 539. And even that, he only had 18 home runs and 20 stolen bases, 57 RBIs. I mean, his overall lining up position is better now than it was that year when he was batting ninth for most of the year. But I don't know.
So I'm gonna click Pete again.
Okay.
Only because we've been talking about him, and I just screwed that draft up with that round 20 Nico Horner.
So all right, you want to make up for it?
That'd be my only beat tied to round 20 Nico Horner. There's a name I'm really passing on, though. You know the name. I mean, Billy can draft me. Lawrence Butler. I really wanted to press Lawrence Butler there, but I feel like I'm going to get my first Pete Alonso's tonight, and we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, I don't know that you have to worry about that.
About Billy taking Lawrence?
Just kidding. He did.
It's so where any Lawrence Butler opinions or anything?
No, I don't.
A new toy for the dark sheet process.
I'm not taking him.
You're not taking,
but it's not like I'm trying to fade him on purpose. It's not like I think he's a bad pick. I mean, man,
the projections I feel like are really lining up well for him, and
Yeah,
I do think the chatter in terms of the rotopods I listen to, they're all like, yeah, you want to get this guy. So I was already on it. I'm getting confirmed a little bit, and I'm going to keep going with it.
Yeah, that confirmation bias. Yeah, but I just pulled up, he's got, so Fangraph depth charts has him at 644 plate appearances, which, sure, I believe it. And 28 home runs, 20 steals, 75 RBIs, 89 runs.
It's a hell of a
That's
projection.
tasty.
It's almost getting to, it's kind of got like a 30-30 feel to it as a projection potential.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of rounding up there, but when I see the projection for, mid-20s and higher on the numbers, it's like, ooh, like I want to just call it 30-30 and feel real good about our prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I had not looked at that. You take that volume down, and it goes down, obviously, but
yeah,
if we're talking about Michael Harris and then talking about him, and
he has to have more home run potential than Harris, right? And can potentially steal about the same amount of bases.
Yeah. Not getting a lot of Jazz Chisholm, but maybe this is the night of fallers, but I'll take him at pick 58. I think that's definitely reasonable from going from outfielder to infielder. No problems here.
Yeah. No, if he's going to fall, right, the main recalibration is the new position, but he still has the upside that he's always presented as a player.
All right, and then I'm thinking about completely giving up all of my closing line value here.
Throw it away. Who knows if it's closing line? It's
everything we just got. No, we can't. Well, now that I said it and everybody's in this draft, let's do it. Let's take Jason Dominguez way, way up. Put him with Jazz here.
Sheep.
Let's live a little tonight. We're on the second beer. We're on the second beer tonight, and we switched over to the High Life.
Well, High Life, you know I'm a High Life guy, right? Like that's all I drink. We're Labatt Blue light, but
that's the.
You know I'm a High Life guy though, through and through. Number one.
Sure. I did not know that.
I your stream before. I've got it in the fridge. I didn't think to grab it.
I don't know. It's just been as disgusting as this. It's just been tasting good the last couple of months.
High Life is my top notch cheap beer. I would say absolutely, yeah.
It's
served amply in Detroit, Michigan. I'll say too.
Yeah.
Like you can always find the cheap High Life anywhere around this town.
Absolutely, here too. I got it. I've told this story on stream before, but maybe I haven't. I don't remember what I've told at this point, but I'll let you hear a couple of picks here, and then I'll tell you the story.
And I'll tell you again, the dumb philosophy that I keep having to do. It's going to work out well for ADP and falling players, yada yada yada. But I've got my Dodgers stack, and I've got Blake Snell just right in front of me. That's the faller I want in my top 100, and then we go back to completely fading pitching for about 5, 6, 7 rounds.
Got it. Yeah, we did. We missed Snell when we were talking about Dodgers pitchers.
We did. Really. We did. So if you wanted to stack them right, you got to start there. That's pick 65, 70. Yeah.
Billy takes his first pitcher with Chris Sale.
Okay. I have enjoyed grabbing some late Chris Sales too. Like he's I think this is exactly what I was talking about. Like there's a run of pitchers here. Like you could say it with Nola. I'd be fine with that if I was looking for my SP1. If Snell wasn't on the board, Michael King, that'd be okay. Roki, not quite that guy for me. Maybe Yoshi isn't either. Pablo, I think I'd be cool with. But I think just the one little twist I'm doing on the dinger so far versus my bullpen drafts is I'm finding one guy to pick in the top 100 that is kind of fallen. I think is kind of like an elite outperformer.
Yeah, I like that idea. But no, so at the Dog Bowl, there was at the draft house, there was 2 bars set up. One was in the kitchen area, one was outside under a tent. And about uh, halfway through the drafts, the 9 drafts, I was like, I need a beer. And I had mostly abstained because I wanted to be,
Alert.
I want to be alert, ready for drafting. Um, and we're going to use a not strategy here and snap up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have taken Christian Walker there if he was still there.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. This is interesting. Let's try this.
I was going to say, I think there is, I love Taylor. We've loved him for a while,
Yeah.
but I think there's good feedback on Dylan, and getting him, you get a little bit of a discount here.
Yeah, we finally saw last year a season that we wanted out of Tyler Ward for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it was so I didn't have him, so I didn't know about it. You come back and look at the end of the year results, and you're kind of like, well, he did his thing.
Yeah. So about halfway through the drafts, I went to the inside bar and said, "Hey, can I have a Miller Lite?" And the lady looks at me like, "Yeah, you're the first person to get a Miller Lite all night."
This is in Texas, right? So
This
you
is
were
in Texas.
ordering a Lone Star or
Modelo. All right.
Modelo. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna take CJ Abrams here with Dylan Cruz. That was kind of the combo I was thinking about there when I saw them both at the top.
That's real nice, man. I don't have much concern about CJ Abrams. I would say at the very least he's going to compile his way to some good numbers and like probably some spike weeks too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my concerns are related to the downswing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we saw last year. Like he seemed to be living up to what we had, people wanted out of CJ Abrams at the first part of the season, and it just sort of died out. So, combine that with what we know, at least the last month, what his motivation was. Like
a little bit of makeup.
I don't want to say that I'm worried about him in terms of like his character makeup. It's more just motivation, right?
Yeah.
Like he's 24 years old. He stayed out all night at a casino, whatever. I'm not docking him for that. Like I don't think that's his.
Yeah.
Like he's going to keep getting punished for things like that. It's just more like seeing the decline over the season, and then that event happens. Like I combine those two maybe too much. I don't know. And like the other thing with it though is how many times was he warned? That's what we don't know about that situation. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think if you want to, he's given you a reason to put the makeup on top of, how you interpret the performance, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
But he's still 24 years old and could be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And then just the power and the speed that we want is like there.
Well, you saw it too. He's had 2 seasons of 1,200 points plus as just a raw total as a young guy in the scoring format. So there's still a putting it together element that could well exceed that. And that would be a nice number at that price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you took Josh Naylor.
I took it. That was a ADP fall purely. Not passionate about it, but fine to get that infielder. I don't particularly like any choices here. I'm going to go back to an old faithful. And I want to so Soler. I'm just not ready to take another pitcher yet, honestly. Like Webb would have been fine. A lot of guys would have been fine. Not really a infielder tier that I care passionately about right now. What do you think about Quan? Where does Quan exist? Stephen Quan exists for you currently?
Oh, I don't even see his name.
You don't even see his name? Okay. Man, okay. Well, so here, like I'm thinking like good floor play, like he's gonna bleed off, he's gonna be on base, he's gonna accumulate points, he's probably not gonna spike. I've been kind of like I hated him all last year, a little bit opening up to it this year.
Okay. Yeah. Especially at 74. I mean, I'm taking Jung-Hoo Lee at 130 and telling myself that I'm getting Stephen Kwan.
Okay. All right.
So
you haven't found anything like new maybe in numbers that
I mean it comes last year he started having pull power, right?
He popped a few homers last year, right?
Yeah. He started trying to pull power, and I've talked about it before. I don't know for average guy, I don't have enough of a idea of how repeatable that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have guys like Isaac Paredes who has demonstrated it year after year. We saw, Nolan Arenado up till last year, like survive off pulled power.
Yeah.
In St. Louis, and but just like in a broader scope, I don't know how repeatable it is. So I have questions about it. Not that I say that I know that it's not repeatable either. All right. So I'm going to take Shota and Hunter Brown as my first two picks.
I do like Max Fried. I'm kind of into picking him too. And this is a good range. You got Grayson, Bailey, Sonny Gray right there too. Like, I don't think he can go very wrong with this range. I'd say maybe I want to like take a little bit of a stand on Max Fried. I don't feel like I've done it, but
okay,
dig it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just never been a Max Fried guy.
So, and he's getting back to the conversation, I feel like, about like really solid innings. He's a talented pitcher. Do you believe that he can maybe like spike a little K upside with him?
Yeah.
That's kind of, I don't know, like this year and some of the names and where they're getting drafted, like ADP wise, I feel like there's a lot of good sort of like arguments for take a chance on a guy that is a highly skilled pitcher that can put up some innings, that the K upside will maybe be a little bit better than you expect. That's kind of something I feel like I'm seeing in a number of different names throughout the draft.
Yeah, and I'm in my mind, I feel like Max Fried has missed more time than he has. So I'm just looking back.
That's something, right? Like last year, he still pitched 170 innings, I think.
Yeah, last year he still got 29 starts.
Yeah.
The year before it was 14, but then 30, 28, 11, and 30. So he's had a couple of down years, but I guess in my mind, I feel like he misses more time than he actually does. So that might be a bias on my part.
No, but I see it, and I think there's definitely probably if you were to give health grades out, right, which there's definitely available. Like you would have to put like kind of like a high risk health grade on him. We know he's missed time for elbow strains or whatever in the last year, forearm strains. So we know what that portends to.
Let's consult. This
I'm
year.
Gonna click him right now. I'm gonna click him right now. Turn it over to Billy.
Okay, so this is the first year I've got the baseball forecaster.
That's some real roto stuff there, Mr. Sheep.
And I've made it like through the first couple pages of the articles, and then my drafting ADHD kicks in. I'm like, I'll just join draft. Yeah. And anytime I'm sitting down to do baseball work or work on a show, it's like, but they do have the health grades in here, so let's check it out.
Reed's health grade is. I'm letting things auto on me. I just want to say, Jake Berger, draft him. He's the man. Do it. I take him wherever I can get him. Doesn't matter. I
got it.
Love Jake Berger, man. Love
it. I really like that Grayson.
Fourth infielder, like you like Grayson. I know you like Grayson. Yeah.
I'm not. I need to get to Grayson this year still. I need to upgrade. But looking at Billy take Grayson and Sonny Gray together, I like that.
That's a nice pairing. I guess the only thing I would say is, again, we can wait on pitching still.
Fair enough. Yeah. As we anticipated, Max Fried has a health grade of F.
Okay. Yeah. Truly. Yep.
But the other thing that I'm wondering here, like, what pitcher actually has a good health grade in here?
That's what we always come back to, right? And we always talk about how are we going to get our group of pitchers to the finals so they can make those 2 start weeks. I still don't know that we have anything to go off. It's like but what are we going to discover about the nature of pitching and injuries that we can really utilize? I don't know. The only thing again, like I keep going back to, and again, I'd love to have this maybe offline, but just like innings versus K potential. I do have a belief at this point that like past innings numbers mean that this guy can actually get through a season healthy. Like if I've seen him do 160, 170, 180 innings in the past, he's got more of a shot to deliver that again for me this year. I don't know if there's any basis to it. Like here, like these 2 names.
Yeah. This is like the epitome of it, right?
Well, did you go Seth Lugo?
I did go Lugo just on this conversation, right?
But also Lugo, like give me those guys that are also not like stone cold, like bad K guys, like your 22% K rate, your 8K per 9 guys that can also go 200 innings like Lugo. I think there's something there to him a little bit. And in the underdog format where you get points for wins, where you get points for quality starts, not in the daily format where those innings have like no value, right? And all you need is Ks. In the best ball format where like volume, I think does have some meaning.
Yeah, I mean, and here's another decision, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But both guys have similar projected innings, similar starts. So I'm going to go the opposite way. I took the innings in Lugo, so I'm going to take the strikeouts in Kikuchi. But yeah, this is definitely where you're comparing these 2 guys that are slightly different at the same spot.
Yeah, totally.
I got to start. When Justin Steele is in the fantasy space, I got to draft him some so I can.
We love him.
If just to support him, and he's friends with our friend of the show, Neil Orfield. They're buddies now. So
I see you got your flannel on.
I do have my flannel verse on. Yeah,
Neil, player Q, supporter for sure.
Absolutely, he's an excellent guy.
Roto Grinders contributor, these days. So shout out to as a faithful Roto Grinders sub through thick and thin.
One of the few Roto Grinders contributors left.
They survived. He survived.
Well,
happy to have him. Him, E-Bine for, shout out, fellas. Great Sunday morning NFL show all year. The Neil Orfield, Eric Binefor, GPP take.
Yeah.
30. I watched it every show this year. I didn't have any success in NFL, on DraftKings.
But it was a great show.
I watched it every morning. It was a great, cup of coffee for sure.
I did actually watch that a couple of times as if I had time to build on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, no, I mean they're putting it out there. This is a quandary a little bit. I'm starring a guy that I am not at all passionate about. I've already got 4 infielders, 5 outfielders. But I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to put it on Billy. I'm going to take my Parker Meadows.
Okay.
Yep. Again, I am really confident that he is the better choice than Kerry Carpenter. That's just where I'm at on it.
Okay, so what do you see this upside on Parker Meadows? Lead off all year.
Lead off all year, and mostly also play every day as the best defensive center fielder that we have on the team. I'm going to make another jump here. I'm going to let it roll out on me here.
Okay.
I like Luis Hill. I like Jared Jones, but I think to follow things up, they're still in a speculative tier. I'm going to go with our guy Robbie Ray as more of a entrenched. I feel like he's a starter for the whole season. But yeah, Meadows is a plate appearance. It's a defensive importance for this team. Is going to put him out there. Plus, as long as he doesn't fall flat on his face, he will be leading off every day versus righties.
Okay.
He's going to be in a good lineup position to try to accumulate some stats. And I would say the thing I'm worried more about, I think he has like power that can play. I think he can like pop 20 home runs if he gets a home run this year. The little part of his game that I worry about is honestly his steals, because the Tigers were not a team that ran at all last year. Maybe a product of the type of players they had, and like we're subbing Torque out, we're moving Keith over to take his place. We're getting Parker in the lineup every day. Maybe they'll steal a little bit more, and Parker had like good steal numbers. But like, is he going to steal more than 20 bases? I'm not completely convinced of right now at this moment.
Yeah, projections have him 21, 22 bases.
I think his upside is like getting 30, where like he has a good year and he gets on base a lot. He can steal 30, like no problem.
All right. Man.
This is a tough board right now.
This is a tough spot. I want outfielder. I'm going to take pitcher.
Okay.
Sean Manaea. I don't know why I said it that way.
See, yeah, like we are at the very end of, for me, the draftable outfielders. It kind of goes from like Nolan. If you wanted to draft a dropping Nolan share, I'm fine with that. I haven't done it much. I do have a little bit of a position on Josh Lowe, of course.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, he was on as I was scrolling around here. He was a consideration.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss Cal Raleigh on the Seattle team, so I'm going to jump him up here.
But I would say if you're trying to wrap up your outfield 5, outfield 6, I want to do it with those names. I have 0 shares of Buxton, and I am really not thinking I'm going to draft him at all this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the tier break for me. Jock, like Jock is a guy I mostly only put on my Rangers teams, but I think I'd be pretty happy on most teams as my outfield 6.
Absolutely, yeah. I haven't loved his climb from 200 in the bullpen to this, but for him it's weekly upside for me. I don't know that he's going to be a great guy over the whole season.
In your outfield 6, like he's gonna give you some contributions, but you don't have to rely on him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, speaking of guys you can't rely on, Billy cannot stop drafting Giancarlo Stanton. I get it. You're here. I've looked at him. You're here. You're looking at outfielder and like, maybe I'll have a month of Giancarlo Stanton, right? I mean,
Stanton, I think, is like so encumbered physically that we talked about it a little bit at the second half drafts, like where I was talking about how Schwarber literally had like 2 doubles in the first half or something, and like it's I don't project doubles, right? We project home runs, we project steals, but I do like the idea of, in a points format scoring, that we're drafting athletes that can kind of like make other events happen than home runs and steals. Like Jaron Duran and his triples. That's something that I think he can accomplish. Took Flaherty.
Okay.
Bloom Board shout out. Those 2 pitches above 15% swing and strike rates. Pretty cool. Yeah. So Stanton is like the truest of the true 3 outcomes kind of player. So I'm a little bit off of him completely. Even my Yankees like stacks and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So while you queue up your next player, who had more doubles last year, Giancarlo Stanton or Kyle Schwarber?
You're gonna tell me Stanton, aren't you? Schwarber made a comeback on it. You're gonna tell me Stanton, aren't you?
I will tell you, Schwarber had 22 doubles all of last year, regular season.
That's such a.
Do you think?
Low, yeah.
You want to go higher or lower for Giancarlo Stanton?
I'm gonna go lower. I've looked at Stanton's total numbers. I feel like not happy with them.
So you are correct by 2.
Okay.
Stanton had 20 doubles last year.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Taking Nathaniel Lowe for my Washington stack here.
That was not truly intentional. I do think he's just about the best name left for me here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a little bit of tightening up to do on the infield in this particular draft. I've got my 4 pitchers here. This is unique for me at this point in the draft. So yeah.
And those 4 are
some names:
Snell, Fried, Ray, and Flaherty. Okay.
Yeah. Flaherty, I guess, would represent a kind of a chance to sort of grab some still like free agent value left. If he ended up on the right team, he's got some metrics and some performance to back him up what he did last year. So yeah.
My biggest, I'm taking a lot of Flaherty, don't get me wrong. My biggest question is all those years that he, speaking of F health grades,
yeah.
He's like an F minus.
Yeah.
If you want to compare him to Fried, who already has an F.
Bring him back to Detroit, baby. I hope this goes long enough that we can get him on a nice little quasi hometown team discount. He seems to speak very glowingly about the Tigers' pitching development. So,
yeah. All right, we're taking Brandon Woodruff here because we're always taking Brandon Woodruff here.
Now, Woodruff for you, is it just because it's your 6th pitcher, or do you have? I feel like you have some expectations for him this year.
Yeah, I if he's fine, he's going to be good. Mm-hmm. At 183 is just a ridiculous price for a guy who could be SP1 on his team.
I was listening to it would have been like a couple weeks ago, Sleeper in the Bus off Fangraphs. It was a Justin Mason, Jason Collette Sunday show, and they were blasting him. They were like, "You cannot touch this guy." I think I've been of the mindset you're talking about mostly, but they gave me the particular type of injury he's coming back from is
sure
a really scary one. Really scary.
All right. I'm planning to do some late round stuff here at infield and outfield. So I'm taking Brandon Pfaadt and closing off pitcher at 7. And then we're going to get a little wacky maybe here at the end.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have to listen to that. Yeah. The capsule surgery or whatever he had. Yeah. He could be coming out and throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs with no command. I don't know.
Yeah. But you put him into a best ball staff at SB6, right?
If spring comes and I'm going to have to walk this back pretty quick. If spring comes and he's still just throwing bullpens and, he doesn't get any spring, I don't know. It's tough. My brain is clouded by Brewers fandom there too.
Brewers fans, yeah.
He's just.
We love him. Gosh, we were 2 years ago. We were so ready for him to be a Cy Young, an NL Cy Young contender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the comeback from the injury has been so elongated. I feel like.
Yeah, and he's throwing bullpens, and then he said next week I'm finally going to see the guys in Milwaukee, and we haven't heard anything since. So,
look, you have to, if you're drafting right now, you have to make a choice on like not like what injury information you believe in, but just like what do you think the alternatives are? Like if we get something good on Acuna, if we get a good report in the next month, we said a month ago, get a good report on Woodruff in the next month, it's going to totally change like where his ending value is. It's so early right now. It's still so early.
Yes, I did say that earlier, but I do, even between then and now, I have forgotten how early we are from actual spring training.
We're still like 3 weeks away from pure. That's like the pitchers and catchers spring training.
Right.
It's not like the batters reporting. I let Conforto go for me there. I don't endorse taking a 7 outfield bill when I started with Ohtani at 1.2, but stacking Dodgers is better than whatever else I was considering. So
Michael Conforto, max EV 113, EV 90.
Well, those are good numbers
last year. I'm ready. I'm ready for Conforto to be back.
Dodgers. And we're going to go right back with it. We're going to take Will Smith as our field 6 for a 5-man Dodgers.
If there's a team that I'm stacking 5, it's the Dodgers.
I go 5 all the time. I don't know. Any old team making a 5-man stack.
I do too, to be honest. But yeah,
it's called stacking dingers, not best dingers available.
Best stinger available.
I would love like a Bizarro show if you're like an Adult Swim fan. Like best stingers available.
Best stingers available. Yeah, so we said earlier that's like last call at the bar. That was their joke. The best stinger available.
Best stinger available. Jobber Jim. We hope to see you in the Bad Bros chat.
All right. Let's see. Are we? Ooh, that's an early Carlos Correa, a Colt fan too. I like it.
I don't.
Dude, that somehow goes undrafted.
Undrafted. Yeah. Shouldn't be undrafted. I'm not taking out a position, but like shouldn't be undrafted.
All right, we're doing it again. We take Wilson Contreras as our 6th infielder.
Okay.
I think this is a 7 outfield build. Although, so here's the thing. I bumped Trout up at that pick, right? So when you're drafting Trout, you need to think of, I think there's 2 ways to think about it, right? Everyone, number one, is going to say, oh, I get Trout. Okay, I'm taking Lars over Jordan Walker here just because I think I know what I'm getting from Lars. But right, everybody's like, okay, I'm taking Mike Trout. I want to cover when he's injured. But the other way to think about it is I'm taking Mike Trout. I'm bumping him up because he's going to be healthy, right? I'm taking this team. I'm building this team like I'm right. The classic best ball discussion, build like you're right. Mike Trout's going to be healthy. I'm getting a 2nd round outfield. No, we'll put a little bit of aging, less steals. Let's put that on him. But we're getting a 2nd round guy, outfielder in the whatever 4th round.
Yeah. 5th, like your 5th.
Yeah, I brought him into the 4th. So yeah. So you don't have. Basically, what I'm saying, you don't have to build 7 outfielders every time you take Mike Trout. Draft like you're right sometimes with him and say he's going to be healthy. That's why I'm taking him here.
I would agree with that. I would even say that for me, there's been some Acuna drafts where you have to up front there's going to be some downtime, it would seem like. But also, too, if you are committed to drafting outfielders early, then Acuna or not, like whoever you take with them, expect they'll carry you for a month. And and hope for the best. No,
Right.
I don't feel like I draft any player, injury risk or not, with the expectation their injuries are really set in. It's more like this is a guy that I can take advantage of a discount due to their injury risk, and I'm totally fine to plan around for if it works out. Best case scenario.
Yeah.
And we're drafting multiple teams here, right?
Yes,
right. Not every Trout team is your 6 outfield build. Just kind of works out if you think it's the right one.
You took Nick Pivetta there. That's a name I haven't heard anyone.
There's no chatter on him.
Any chatter on Nick Pivetta?
Not any at all. Any at all.
Which scares me because
yeah,
he's a meme sort of in the best ball baseball underdog community. But okay, so you're going with another Bloom board here.
I'm going with Blanco. I have a big Blanco stake for sure.
So that Bloom board that you were referencing was it was pitchers that had 2 pitches with swinging strike rate over 10%?
Over 15%.
Over 15%. Okay. And Ronel Blanco, who everyone is assuming major regression from this year, made that list. So that was a big surprise to me because I don't look at swinging strike rate on a pitcher, much less on individual pitches.
I didn't either, but I will say I pulled up his projection early, like when Seamer first came out, and they're giving him again 160, 170 innings at more or less a 9K per 9 sort of rate. Like we're deep into the pick 200s. Jackson Jobe or Merrill Kelly after kind of an injury riddled season. No, Ronel Blanco, I think for both the inning stability, I don't think he's going to be replaced as a starter at all for Houston.
Everybody has him at 28 starts in the projections.
And he's not just like a jabroni, no K ability guy. He's got some K stuff to him, so. Yeah. So he's and look, it'll go back to the same philosophy, but I know you're picking now. I'm sorry.
No, I've had this plan cooked up since I took that last picture.
but Brady Singer and I feel bad that I think my brand is tied to Brady Singer, at least in the spike we just scored, with our friends over there. But again, I just I pull these names and I put them into the Fangraphs page, and they're telling me 170, 180 innings as a projection, and they're not dog shit K guys like that. Yeah. That's good to me in the 19th and 20th rounds like that. I'm gonna take that. I'm not gonna. Who's even your upside play at this point with who's left here? Merrill Kelly is probably a name that I should be more into based on that type of hypothesis. I haven't done it only because he was injured for a good bit of last year, and I'm just a little bit worried about what that means for him this year.
Yeah. So. Before I took my last pick here, I like the CAS pick here from J. Ciorca and TK take the Thairo Estrada. I'm still hoping for that bounce back Thairo.
I've forgotten about him I've done a little bit more Colorado, a little bit off your recommendation. I've forgotten about him. That's a good guy to work in, I think.
And then I'm surprised how often Joe Adell's going.
Yeah.
I would like him if he was a little bit less drafted than he is. This is a fun Andrew McCutchen. I would never take it because I don't know how many games he plays. But what I wanted to say is, early on when I said, okay, I'm taking Fott here because I don't want to take any more pitchers, and everything came together. What happened? Jake Cronenworth? You didn't want that?
Did it again.
You did it again. You didn't save your.
No, I didn't get adjusted. Don't you love this sheet? Look, My role of being here on the Sheep Stream is to tell you that the normies are still out there and you can take advantage of them. Like, we're still out here.
We're still out here. Everybody,
God, I had Jeffrey Springs queued up, man.
you just gotta click. All right. Well, we'll act like you got Jeffrey Springs and ignore that. But no, what I wanted to say was, so this finish that I got after I took FOT, this plan that I had was, I took Cal Raleigh and then, I don't know, Cal Raleigh, then FOT, right? So I was planning this because of the last draft. I did see this kind of available. So I got the Wilson Contreras, Lars Nootbaar, Jordan Walker, and then finish off with the Victor Robles. So that is something like, this is something I need to be better about. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I can get a pitcher later, but then I forget about something that I wanted to do later with the other positions. So,
yeah. No, there's lots of late round opportunity in these drafts. Right? Yeah. CES, I think. I haven't worked him in very much with how things have been shaking out so far, but I want to do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we won't look at your team because we don't want to see that.
Look, I want more 6-7-7s in my life, and I have acquired those. Well, I'll just need to put Pete Alonso on like a proper team.
All right. So everybody, thanks for joining us again tonight. Ben, I appreciate you always. It's always a blast.
It was crazy, man. Like, did we stop at all? Like, no. Man, we just, those were fast drafts tonight.
Yes. This has been happening the last few weeks on the Sheep Seats. Like, people are drafting quick, and it's nice. But be sure to tune in some Friday in March. Ben and I are going to try to draft an FBC main event qualifier. And then once we win that, stay tuned next year when we meet in Vegas and do a live main event draft. That's our exciting fun. We're going to try it this year. We're going to try, get first out of 15 to get that ticket to, I guess you don't get a ticket to Vegas, but
man, wherever you can work me in, especially when it comes to that roto life, which I know you're a secret admirer, but dude, shout out to you, man. Like it's I don't know if you call it a glow up, I guess is what the kids call it these days, but like love what you're doing. I just love seeing you on like different streams, different like formats, and obviously again, like congrats on that, like that dog ball format. That was legendary.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm just
like love what you're doing, man. True.
I'm chalking that up to, my peak win, but we're going to keep making content and talking baseball no matter what happens out here.
The baseball guys were well represented at that dog bowl, man. That's what I love. The baseball guys were there.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So everyone have an awesome weekend. Hopefully if you have a team left in football, it survives the weekend. I think I have one live playoff team, so
0.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any redemptions though, just 30 or so mitten 27s. Yeah.
Yeah, my live one is in the mitten 5. So
exactly.
All right.
Sheep.
All right. So for Ben and myself, everyone enjoy your weekend.